Hello and welcome back to part 10 of modeling the semi-truck. In this part of the video we're going to look at the air deflector. So like I said in the last one, if you're not really going to be using this air deflector slash sleeper cab, then you can skip this particular segment. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go into the side view here and look at what we got on the sleeper cab. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Shift H. Let me turn on my my screencast keys here. Okay. And just did a Shift H so that we get it all by itself so we can be free to work on it here. So I'm going to tab into edit mode, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of some geometry here. Let's go into vertex mode, and I'm just going to Alt select this X and delete the edge loop. Same thing with this one here. Alt select X, delete the edge loop. And the reason for that is because those lines aren't really needed. When I was looking at the front of the truck, look in this view here, it kind of looked like it was kind of some ridges there. But this picture isn't actually accurate after looking at the reference images. And so then we need to move these vertices up so they're straight. Another thing that we need to do is we need to fill in the back of this. So I'm just going to select these three vertices here. And just do an E extrude and move it along the x-axis. And we need to turn the clipping on, the mirror modifier. Okay. And that's just making sure that it's filled in there. So let's look back at our side view here to see what we need to do. We need some lines here so we can move this in. So I'm going to do a Control R and just bring this down kind of where it starts right here, and then bring the rest of it up so it matches what's going on here, and something like that. And then do another Control R for this other line that's going through here. And I'm just going to bring this up a little bit and bring these down. Okay, and something like that. So now basically what we need to do is we need to move this inward so it matches what this deflector kind of looks like. And in order to do that, let's go ahead and go into face mode and grab these faces here. Okay, and we're just going to move this, go to top view here. And just going to move this over a little bit, and then I'm going to rotate it. So we want this edge here to be kind of even. And of course this is messing up our front a little bit, so we need to fix that. I'm going to deselect these. And actually for the front, I think I want to actually move this in. And I'm going to grab these vertices here, move them down, straighten them out a little bit. We also need to go into face mode and let's go ahead and delete these faces. They're not needed in the middle there. And in top view, I didn't get any of the ones I wanted there. Okay, I just need to straighten this out a little bit, so I'm going to pull this in. Something like that. Okay, and top view again, come over here, and I want to grab those vertices and move them back even with this closer to where that should be. And just to match our reference picture a little bit better, we can move this up a little. This can be moved up. Okay, so that's the basic outline there. Now we need to take care of this window here. So in order to do that, I'm just going to take let me move this down a little bit. And I'm going to select this and just do a Shift V and move it along this axis just so it's even with that. Shift V on this one, and just to kind of relax those vertices a little bit. And I'm going to add some geometry for this and this here. So let me do a edge loop here, and I'm just going to bring it up to where it's even with this edge right here. And we need one on the bottom there. Or do we? No, we don't. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we need an edge loop here. So it's right about there. So this one I'm just going to move forward to about right there. This one I'm going to Shift V over just a little bit. And this one I'm just going to G move it down so it conforms a little bit more so we have that shape. So really we still have a quad here, but we're going to make a triangular looking window out of it. Okay, just checking the overall shape, and it looks fairly okay to me. And I'm going to go into face mode, grab this, and we're just going to do an E extrude and then scale it down. Go back into our side view here and grab these verts and just kind of play with the shape here so that it's a little bit closer to what it needs to be. Okay, so that would be that window. And then I'm going to select the window, come back to the materials, and just give it the glass material. Oops, didn't want to do that. Let's remove that material. And before we do that, let's go ahead and add a new material for the base color of the sleeper area here. And I'm going to call this white spec. No, not spec as a speck of dirt, but spec as in specularity. And just going to bump this all the way up to white. And I'm just going to leave it as diffuse for right now. And then let's come back into the edit mode. We can still have our window selected, do a new material, and just select the glass and assign. Okay. Now let's come in and just do a E extrude and just go in a little bit extrude maybe a little bit more. And if you want, you can use one of these extrusions to put like a black seal on it. I'm not going to do that. I think it's going to be probably fine like it is. I might do it later, but it should be okay for right now. Back in the side view, let's look at what else we have as far as the geometry. We have this panel right here. And I think we probably have a little panel here, but you can't really see it in this. Let's look at some reference images. So you can see that panel is kind of like here, and there's even a built-in panel, and along looks like sort of a long panel right there. And you can see that the sleeper cab is actually separate from the air deflector, and these back areas here, which we actually have to define better, is separate as well. So, I mean, depending on your reference images and what you want to make, I mean, you can put the kind of panel, you know, any kind of panel you want there. What I'm going to do is, I do want to make this sort of panel outline there, so I'm just going to do, actually before I do that, let me go into vertex mode. I'm going to grab this line here, this edge, and make sure that I have enough of that. And I really want this area as well, I think. And that means also this area. Okay, now I got way too much. So you just deselect all this here. I don't want that. Okay. And I just want to move this down. Actually, I don't want these. I want to move those down. Just so it's even to where that sleeper cab part will be. And let me see if I messed up my yeah, that might work. There's something wrong here though. Not sure exactly where that came from, but I'm going to merge it onto this one. Okay. So now we have enough geometry here to create this door. I am going to, let's see, I'm going to move this edge over. Okay, go into face, select faces. And that's going to be the basic door right there, so just do an E to extrude. And scale it down just a little bit. And come in and select the edges here. Go and assign the black material to that. extrude that inward a little bit. So E, bring it in just a little bit, and then again. Okay, and then I'll probably add a small panel over here. Feel free to do that. What we do need to do also, though, is we need to fix these back edges where it kind of just shows this as just pieces that are sticking out there. So let's turn occlude on and just grab these faces. Actually, before that, let me do a Control R and add an edge. Probably something like that. And I just noticed that this is not going all the way down, so we need to fix that as well. So I just undid that edge for right now. Let me go ahead and fix this before I do anything else. Just going to extrude that over. Okay, close enough, I think. And just merge those vertices there at the center. Okay. Now I'm going to do a Control R and just make that about that thick, I guess. Let's delete this face and then select these faces here and extrude inward. Go to the top view so it's matching up. Okay, and go ahead and delete that face. And then we need to just merge some vertices here. At center. At center. Okay. And the bottom, yeah, I guess we need to do that as well. Just delete that face. And there you go. Save that real quick. And let's look at our reference image again, see if there's something that we're missing. And there kind of is. We need this seam that is along there. So really all you need to do there is just do a Control R, edge loop, and I'm going to put it on this side so it's straight, and just make it real close to that other line. Going into our vertex mode, Alt select, or Shift Alt select the other one, and we don't want that. We don't want any of the ones behind it. Okay, so now we can go and assign the black material to that. And just extrude that inward. Just a little bit and a little bit more. And the reason I do that twice is, like I say, just to give it some definition once it's subsurfed. If you don't do that, it'll be very curvy on as far as the extrusion. So you want to make sure that you extrude it more than once. Okay, and back to our reference pictures. Okay, so this kind of shows it pretty good. It even has sort of the window there. But I find it kind of funny that most of the pictures I'm finding on the internet are all model trucks. As far as the actual trucks, I mean, it's really hard to find pictures of the Aeromax. I don't know why that is. Very strange. But anyway, this gives you an idea of the different panels and what you need to do there. But basically, as far as the wind deflector here, we're pretty much done. And if we do apply the subsurf, or add the subsurf modifier, and make it smooth, you can kind of see that we do need to add our extra geometry. We got a little some pinching going on here, and I thought we would when I moved that down the way I did, so that needs to be fixed. So I'll just add an edge loop here, bring that up so it's more like a panel or door or whatever you want to call it. Don't need that. Come down here, add an edge loop, and to the window, add an edge loop there, add one going across there, and across there, and maybe even another one over here. Really just depends on how defined you want it to be. You don't want to go too crazy with the geometry, because what will happen is you start getting strong definitions like this. So what I'm going to do is I need to remove some of that geometry. See if I can just get away with a Control R and not go too far with it. And actually that looks pretty good like that. I think that'll work. And doesn't seem to be messing up our curve here. And to fix this pinching here, let's add another edge loop along here. Look at the other side to see if that's helping at all. It's really, what it's doing is this area right here seems to be way too thin, and then we got, I'm going to delete that edge loop. See if we can fix it without it. Make this a little bit thicker. Select this and bring it down so it's a little bit more relaxed. And where's that geometry going? That's probably one of the reasons why it's pinching like that. So I'll grab those two, bring them down, oh, the other thing that we don't have here is we're not seeing the definition of the top of the sleeper. So that may actually be the thing that fixes this for us. So let's go in here and add that. So I am going to add an edge loop, but I want to bring it down very close to here. let's deselect all of these. And deselect all that. And I need to move these up a little bit. And I'm going to grab these faces and assign the black material to them. And extrude inward just a little bit. And then more. Okay. And then you can add an edge loop here to kind of fix that edge of that seam there, so it looks like at least it's to the end of the sleeper cab there. And if you want to get really detailed, you could actually come in here and let's go into face mode so you can see. You can come in here and actually join this to this seam here so it goes all the way across. You might be able to get away with that just by removing some faces here. There we go. Not completely legal there, but at least it's gives the appearance of it going into that other seam there. And if we render it, we can kind of see what we have so far. I just added a sun, by the way, just to be able to differentiate between the background and the actual cab, because the background was pretty much white as well. So not too bad. Looks like we probably could still use some work here. This is actually supposed to be pretty smooth going up there, but we are getting there. In the next tutorial, what we're going to be doing is adding the wheels. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.